Hello and welcome back to the channel. Once again, we are here to talk about things. Appreciate every one of you who's commented, watched a video, offered a comment, offered your perspective, offered your experience. To those of you who like this kind of video, I would ask that you'd go ahead and consider subscribing and turning on notifications and click all videos so you will be notified when I continue to make more of these. I'm going to hurt some of y'all's feelings today. Apologize in advance. It's going to hurt. I wanted to ask you guys, how ready do you think you are if you actually had to use your primary musket for some reason? And I'm not talking about have you got it sighted in, not talking about have you developed the personal skills to use it accurately. I'm going to trust that that's already the case. I'm thinking about how many musket balls do you have on hand? And the answer might be different from what you think it is for yourself. And here's what I mean by that. I personally know a few guys who have north of 5,000 rounds in their house. And I think that they think they're prepared for a 5,000 plus round engagement with an enemy. But the question for you is not how many rounds of ammunition do you have on hand in your compound. For most of us, our compound is our 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, either in the suburbs. Perhaps some of you live further out in a more rural area. Some of you might have an apartment in a very congested area. Whatever you consider to be your compound, I'm not asking you how many rounds you have. The real question I have for you is, how many magazines do you have? How many magazines do you currently have loaded? Because if you ever have to start using your musket, I think that for the most part you're going to be limited to the number of loaded magazines you have. I don't think an ammo can with 1,000 rounds in it does you very much good. If you have to stop firing to reload magazines, the fight's over. You're giving an enemy an opportunity then to rush the compound or to firebomb you. You need to be able to keep people at distance for an extended period of time. Now, some of you are thinking the same thing that I've heard some of my friends say, and I've heard this come out of their mouth. Oh yeah, while I'm shooting, my wife is over here reloading magazines and handing me magazines. Well, okay, let's time her. How long does it take your wife to load 30 rounds in an M4 magazine? Let's be real. When I've gone to the range and I've seen guys with their wives, and this is not a knock on their wives, but when I've seen them try to reload their own magazines, it's almost always a case of, here honey, let me do that for you. I'll load your mags for you, no problem. Loading an AR-15 magazine is not something you need to learn how to do when you need to do it. Either you've practiced ahead of time and you can do it quickly, or you can't. And asking your wife or your daughter to load magazines, they are not loading those magazines as fast as you're shooting, I'll tell you that. Nobody is. Nobody is. Maybe you've got one of those speed loader guys that cost a couple $100 and you can load 30 rounds in 1 second. That's a great idea. That is not a bad idea. But it's cheaper. That $200 can buy you 20 magazines. You can get PMags for $10. So why not just get 20 more mags and keep them loaded? I think every time you visit a gun store, you should buy a PMag. Every time you go to the gun show, you should be picking up 3 or 4 mags, cost you $20, $30. If nothing happens between now and the new year, you could get another 5 or 6 magazines by just buying one a week. $10 a week? Some of you guys spend 5 times that on coffee. But I don't think a box of ammo at the house is doing you any good when it's time to defend the compound or go on mission or whatever you're doing. Think about how many magazines you have right now. That's probably how much ammo you really have. I never heard anybody throwing an ammo can in their rucksack and going rucking with 1,000 rounds loose in a metal box. And you're not part of big army showing up at a rally point with a Humvee full of loaded magazines to hand out to you guys. You're self-armed. Your logistics and supply chain is you today before you need it. All right, well, thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with my rude question. Think about it. If you think I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your rationale. You think 6 mags is all you need? Because that's all you can carry? Let me know why. You got a plan B I haven't thought of? Tell me what it is. I want to hear it in the comments. All right, everybody. Insert clever sign-off catchphrase here.